not having green grass. First world problem right there.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday, August 28th Litchfield Budget Committee meeting. We'll call the meeting to order and we'll start tonight with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome back, everyone. It's been a couple of months since we were together. Everybody had a good summer, and our last meeting before we get into our weekly cadence this fall. First on the agenda, any review or additions to tonight's agenda? Seeing none, move into correspondence. Thank you, Mr. Taylor, for putting this together. I'll quickly capture everything since the end of June. On June 26th, Carrie Douglas sent to the chair, vice chair, and Mr. Cutter a follow-up to tonight's conversation regarding Special Education Capital Reserve Fund. Please find attached meeting minutes from December 5th, 2024 and December 19th, 2024. On July 1st, Chair Sun forwarded the June 18th BA report and encumbrances update from the school. Also on July 1st, Heather Sneman sent the updated default and operating comparison file. On July 3rd, Chair Sun forwarded a request from the Heritage Commission. On July 15th, Chair Sun sent the BA report from Mr. Cutter, as well as updates on the return to taxpayers and the RFP for GMS. On July 25th, Heather Sneman sent the budget report for July 25th, 2025, along with special fund balances and budgeted revenues for June. On August 12th, Kim Kleiner sent the Board of Selectmen summary from the Monday, August 11th Board of Selectmen meeting. On August 13th, Ron Oblinus sent information for Budget Committee consideration. On August 15th, Heather Sneman sent the budget report for August 15th, along with July special fund balances and the July budgeted revenues. On August 19th, Chair Sun forwarded the town's updated fraud policy. Chair Sun also sent the Budget Committee agenda for this evening, and Matthew Sullivan sent the May and June meeting minutes. Yesterday, August 27th, Heather Sneman sent the 2025 monthly default and operating comparison updated for August. And then today, August 28th, Chair Sun forwarded the draft version of the town operating budget. That is our correspondence. Next on the agenda, we have public input. I'll open it up for public input. Seeing no one here, I will close public input. We have a second public input before we adjourn this evening. Next, we have review and acceptance of minutes. As everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes from June 26th, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion made.
Motion by Mr. Burke.
Second.
Second by Mr. Barca. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries 6-0-1. All right. I should have mentioned this from the onset. We have two folks not with us this evening. Mr. LaPlante is traveling, taking his son to college, and Mr. Burnell is also traveling and on his way home from a trip. Next on our agenda, we have town business, general updates. And so with Mr. Burnell not being here, he did share several updates with me today that I will go through and read and share. He did say that if there were any questions, I will capture those and share back with him. He said he was going to try to watch the meeting on a plane or when he gets home, and he'll follow up with any questions that are asked. Also, I did share the budget document, so you all should have an opportunity. That was a few hours ago. Again, he wanted me to remind you that this is it's a live document. They're still working on it. The Board of Selectmen met earlier this week and started making some reductions, and they'll continue to do so before our next meeting on September 25th. Updates from the town. The highway block grant for the state fiscal year 2026, which runs from June 2025 through June 2026. Our apportionment block grant A is $186,854.57. The Senate Bill 367 allocation is $25,539.20. The total for that highway block grant is $212,393.77. The anticipated payment schedule for us is that we will get 30% in July of 2025, which we've already received, and that amount is $63,718.13. We'll get 30% in October, 20% in January of 2026, and then 20% in April of 2026.
So are we budgeting, it's weird budgeting then, because some of them will be fiscal year 25 and some fiscal year 26. So are we accounting for that? Or how are we accounting for that?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but I'll capture that from Mr. Brunel. Next, he had on the audit. They've had the wrap-up meeting with Alina Korsak, who is the CPA managing director, and that is scheduled for September 22nd. Solid waste disposal surcharge, effective January 1st, 2026. NHDES will assess $3.50 per ton of a disposal surcharge. This is collected quarterly from landfill, the incinerator, and waste-to-energy operators. Costs are initially billed to customers, but municipalities are expected to be reimbursed, and clarification on the mechanism is expected within the next few weeks. Budget adjustments since submission to the selectmen. The original proposed budget was $8,530,522, which was over the cap by $94,899. Since then, and by the way, I will forward this email to everyone so you all have it and can reference it. Since then, the Board of Selectmen have made several reductions, including reductions to zoning for $750, tax collector, town clerk for $8,244, NHRS personnel adjustment $6,985, health and dental $2,470. They've also added a couple of things: fire alarm monitoring. They added $1,200. NRPC fee they added $71, and library budget they added $394. So currently, that puts us where they set today is $85,130 over the tax cap. Outstanding budget items that they're waiting cost for include health insurance, Primex, and hydrants. And then switching gear, I'll pause right there. Any questions as it pertains? I know you all have just had this information for a few hours. Any initial questions related to the budget?
I'm curious as to what's driving the decrease in revenues. And I will be interested, because this is also the first year where we don't have the tower payment anymore, right? So
That is
we're
correct.
over budget, over the cap, and we no longer have that payment. So I find that troubling. Because as has been commented on in the past, that we've always said, oh, well, once the tower's paid off, we'll have money for this. And, oh, once the tower's paid off, we'll have money for that. And then apparently we don't have money for anything. So what happened? I know it's a work in progress. I get it. But still, the initial start is a little troubling.
So I've captured some questions from Mr. Brunel here, including the one about the highway block grant. What's driving a decrease in revenues? And then with this being our first year with no cell tower payment, what are some major drivers of increases in the budget?
Jim, you asked them to provide the census for each year starting in 2020.
By 2020, that goes back to like 2015 or something, 2016.
Well, I'm just curious. Well, the budget starts at 2020
Ah.
comparison, so I'm just curious
Gotcha.
where it is. Because the one that jumps out at me right away, the top line, police. Since 2020 to 2026, it's almost a 100% increase in salary.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay, I'll get that. I've got it. Any other questions related to budget? Was there-
I wrote the first line.
He was like,
Well,
whoa.
I'm going to capture all of these, ask them to Mr. Brunel in a follow-up email as you, over the next month, as you dig into the budget. If there's additional questions, then please email those to me.
I'm a little confused by it. It's showing a decrease of 151,000, or am I reading this wrong? Look at the increase, decrease line, the very
Well, this,
bottom.
well, it depends on which one you're looking at. You're looking at the default budget, or you're looking at the proposed budget? Because I did that myself. I went to the default budget by
Look at the
accident.
2026 totals.
Totals or?
First tab, 2026 totals.
So the 2026 department proposed budget was 8,539,194.
Yeah.
And then you can see the defaults there next to it.
Yeah, so what does it say? What's the negative 151 then? What is that? To the column G?
It is E3 minus, it is,
It has to do.
difference between 2026 department proposed and 2025 department proposed.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
So it's showing a decrease. Oh, decrease on the proposed. but not the
Proposed,
default.
yeah,
Okay.
proposed
Why
from
did
what
it show
the,
us that?
from what the department said. Yes.
It's a fantasy number. Why show us that?
It does seem backwards.
Yeah, that is showing before it got to the Board of Selectmen, yes. All right,
Just to highlight how good of a job they did on reducing the budget.
At the end of the day, what I'm seeing is the default budget came in at, or the default budget this year is 8,160,158,
correct,
right? The selectmen proposed is 8,527,53,
correct.
right? So that's
Currently, yes.
currently, right? And so that, while the tax cap is, what did you say, 85?
5%.
We're over the tax cap by 85,000.
By $85,000, the budget in and of itself is up 400.
Yeah, they don't show
Yeah,
that
which is why I was
difference.
confused by the negative number,
And-
but they're
and
basically
you're
saying.
asking what
we're
happened
asking
to
for
the
less than we
tower-
asked for last year.
You're asking what happens to the tower payment, well, the tower payment's
But still
absorbing
more
that
than
increase.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. There should be like that much money not spent on anything, and yet we've already spent it. So what the heck?
All good questions. I've captured those from Mr. Brunel.
And I think what I don't see, and I'm surprised I think I don't see, is I don't see any cruisers in this budget.
It's because he's got a plan. I'll go over that when I do the CIP meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions related to the budget?
Not yet.
Okay.
Too fresh.
Last couple of items on the town update, the MS1 report, the town valuation, the extension requested due to missing utility data for reevaluation. The new deadline is October 1st,
How does that
2025.
affect the tax setting, the rate setting? And it may not, but it'd be good to know because we seem to push the envelope on when we set our rates lately.
When's rate setting due? 'Cause tax bill's December, right? So rate setting must be.
Right around
October.
there, right? I mean, right around there. So like, I really hate it when tax bills come out like
Comes
2
in the
weeks before.
September, early October timeframe is generally when they're set.
Right, but if this is an extension till October, then we gonna send bills that are due 2 weeks before Christmas? Yay!
Merry Christmas?
Merry Christmas, pay the tax man.
That's what happened last year.
Yeah,
That's what happened last year.
yeah.
I've captured that question as well.
The other question, Chairman Sun, that I'd like just to get an update on is, I know last year the voters approved, research on the encumbrance of the water, right, the water system. That would have a direct impact on hydrants and other things that are impacting the budget, so I'd like an update on where that stands.
Take it.
Mr.
Unless
Brunel.
that's discussed as a part of the CIP, maybe you have an update on that.
Got it. Last item from the town update, the Clean Fleet Grant, which is the replacement of fire rescue. The town has accepted the grant for $283,500, or 70% of the cost of the replacement rescue. Remainder funds will be coming from impact fees related to the fire service. Expected close is March timeframe.
So is this adding to the fleet or it's not
Replacing.
replacing? Thought you couldn't replace using impact fees. I thought you could only
Impact fees
expand.
are an expansion of service.
Yeah, so
Right.
replacing an existing vehicle is not an expansion of service.
Unless that vehicle has additional functionality.
Yeah.
Additional functionality to serve the.
A greater population.
Yeah, the
What
increase
vehicles?
in.
You know, maybe we
population
should
in
just
town.
wait for Brian to give us the CIP. Or maybe we should just jump to the CIP update. Because we keep talking about stuff that he's like, I got that. I got
Is that on the CIP? Is that a part of it? Okay, got it. Well, hold.
Hold the question.
All right, that is all of the town update. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions already teed up for Mr. Brunel. If there are any other questions that come out of the CIP update, or as you continue to review the budget, please email those over to me. All right, switching gears to school, Mr. Cutter.
Yes, so thank you very much. I know and recognize it's been a couple of months since really a good verbal update. So allow me to spend a few minutes and just give you a kind of lay of the land and where things stand with school. So we just started school again this week. Nice to have everyone back in the buildings. You know, everyone I think is excited. The energy is there to get back to the education in the district. Just in terms of the budget and where things stand, you might recall a couple of months ago, we did issue an RFP for renovation and or construction services at GMS, right? It was open-ended into the solution at GMS. We did receive several responses to that RFP. We received notably from Barker Architects, Harriman, LaValle, Turner Group, Banwell, Marantz, as well as Dennis Myers. They were all, you know, great presentations. We went through a process where that was narrowed down to 4. The 4 were Barker, Harriman, LaValle, and Turner, and then ultimately that was decided upon to be Harriman, right? And so the board made the decision to move forward with Harriman. That was based upon survey results across a number of individuals, and Harriman was the clear choice and the clear winner based upon their vision for the district, their responses, their willingness to work with us, based upon dollars, right, and scaling back design and just overall their approach, their willingness to be flexible and just their all-inclusive approach. We didn't have to go out to market to look for various individuals to also support this this process. They had a team that could come in and help us meet our goals. Today was a kickoff meeting with Harriman. I didn't participate, but I'm hearing that meeting did go well. And at that meeting, we were presented a timeline that gets us to a March vote. So that is absolutely the push. It is absolutely still to present to the voters a plan in March for some type of renovation, construction, something to remediate the issues at GMS. There will be, I'm told, at least a series of 3 public forums. The first of which I believe is going to be planned at the end of September, just to drive continued community engagement throughout the process. But look, we're now at the end of August. March is right around the corner, as we all know, especially getting through budget season. We got a lot to do, but we have a plan to do it. So we're going to be meeting, obviously, through the budget cycle on a weekly basis here. So you'll get a lot of updates as we go through that process.
So you guys going to pick a contractor and they're going to come up with a plan between now and end of September?
We have picked a contractor, like
Okay.
Harriman, right? And that plan is going to be a renovation and or partly addition to GMS to remediate the issue.
But they'll have something to show by end of September?
Not by the end of September.
That's
right?
more community,
That's
like
community
input and
feedback.
feedback. Yeah.
Right. You know, I think the big question mark that I have, and again, not being participant in that meetings, I don't know the answer to this, is, you know, really we need something kind of solidified by the December timeframe for warrant article preparations and planning. So while the timeline gets us to March, great, we also need to consider bond process and all of that. So I need to make sure the timeline accounts for that as well.
It's a pretty short window.
Right, it's tight. So here we go. Just in terms of school enrollment, I know that's generally a question that is top of mind for the budget committee. We have 1,101 students as of August 20th. So that is, you know, we generally take the official enrollment number beginning the first week
Yeah,
of
October 1st-ish.
October. Yeah, but we opened the doors with 1,101 students.
Where is that relative to last year?
Relative to last year, yep, we closed as of June 18th, 2025 with 1,112.
Right.
How many kindergarten classes this year?
We have 4.
And you have how many kids?
We have 63. Yep. Any other questions with that?
Oh, the only question I had was, last time we met, we talked about a $750,000 return, and then there was a mention, or there was an error somewhere in the budgeting process, and excess money was discovered to be underspent. Do we know what caused that, and whether, I mean, because it's good that we had more than we thought.
It
but
was
it's-
explained at the meeting.
Well,
And the
well,
superintendent responded in an email to that.
all right, then I missed that.
It was a
Sorry,
miscalculation by the
thought they were taking
superintendent, and
Okay.
yeah, it was, that's the reason.
And do we have processes in place to make sure we don't do that again?
Yes.
Double check, I mean, I get it happens, but it shouldn't.
Making sure I didn't miss sharing that.
I don't recall seeing it, but it could be, I could have missed it. It's been a crazy summer.
I'm going
And
back.
if the superintendent did get it, if it wasn't circulated, we can certainly circulate that. Yes, and that's really what it was. It was a carryover formula issue.
No, and I get it. I just, one of the things that I find frustrating about it is the conversation around the March warrants would have been incredibly different if we'd known we had this other funding available. So to me, I hope it's a one-off. It just makes me nervous.
My recollection, what the superintendent explained, is that he was looking at columns of expenditures, and they were already paid, but he thought they were outstanding, and then come to find out that whatever column he was looking at, because I haven't seen that report, they actually had been paid.
But shouldn't that be a business administrator?
Correct,
thing?
that's why he said he's gonna stay out of the business administrator's hair.
That's right. He was calculating in addition to the business administrator, and it was a cross calculation error within their formulas.
No, I get it. Like I said, though, I think the conversations around where we stood with special ed would have been different if we'd known we had more money. So I would just caution, just,
I just sent, I apologize. Those answers were shared with me. I confirmed that they were good to share with the budget committee, and then I never sent it. So that's my mistake. I just sent those.
well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, in terms of other school updates, we are tracking, and I did share the latest business administrator report with the budget committee yesterday. That was reported to the school board last week. In that report contains the updated balances across our reserve funds, so you have that information. I think in addition to that, one of the other things that we're tracking, we talked a little bit about last week, are the impact fees that the town is holding. There's actually a pretty significant amount now in those accounts for school purposes. And so, no plans as of yet, but just starting to think about like what potential needs there will be and what potential uses there could be for those types of funds.
Paying down solar.
That wouldn't be an expansion of services.
We didn't expand services and we changed, really?
No,
Well, then the renovations that added a couple of classrooms probably could be covered.
not in retrospective.
You've got about 200 and
If we have a lease on it, I'm pretty sure you could.
260,000 in impact fees spread across the three schools. Most of it is it Campbell? I-
No.
No.
Let me get you the latest here, 1 second. I have it right here.
These are the balances as of June
Yeah,
2025.
so that's dated.
Got
And it increased, which is why we brought it to discussion. So as of about a week ago, GMS was at 20,481. Campbell was at 255,975, and LMS was at 172,054.
In the parking lot,
It's a lot more.
expanding the
Yeah,
parking.
it went up significantly, which is why we
It,
took the discussion.
and so my question was, of that amount that you just stated, is the only amount that's set to expire relatively soon the $5,700 for GMS?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's $5,700 that's set to expire in November. That's top of mind, and we're gonna put together
Okay.
some
That's
type
what I
of-
wanted to
some type of
confirm.
There's so much more allocated to GMS and LMS. How's that formula work?
I don't know how all that works, right? I really don't know.
Well, there was discussion in the past about consolidating them into district-wide impact, like, apparently not many many districts actually divide by school.
That'd be great.
So if there were to be a way to like
And if there's a
revisit,
way to do that, then we could tackle a parking lot.
right, so I I would encourage, I don't know who determines that, whether that's the CIP from the town side when calculating that, or
The
if
Board
it's a
of-
school-related thing.
Board
but
of Selectmen, I think, would probably.
Somebody should take a look at that
Yeah.
and say, you don't know which school is going to be impacted, so putting all your eggs in different baskets doesn't make sense.
You want me to add that to my list of questions for
Yeah,
John?
that would be a fantastic question to ask the town. Like, I really don't know how that is
Because
all
we
broken out.
frequently hear from them, or from the NRPC or whatever it is, well, not many districts divide. Well, then why are we one of them? Like,
And then
let's just
why-
undivide.
And then why was
Let's
there
make things complicated.
an unequal increase in high school and LMS over the past month, but nothing to GMS? Like, I don't know the answer to that question.
Right.
It's on my list. John, you picked a good one to miss.
I think that really covers it in terms of tonight's updates. I mean, the other thing is, obviously, we just started school. From a school budgeting perspective, that obviously is top of mind for us. We're just kicking up that process now as all the administrators come back into the buildings, so.
Questions?
Principal and vice principal doing at CHS.
Yeah, good, absolutely, yeah. So we have Zach as the assistant principal at Campbell and Jennifer Mitchinson as the new principal. I think they have their hands cut out for them, their jobs cut out for them, especially as the new state policy came down with the cell phones. Yeah, right, and so, I think it's been a bit of a fun week as the kids come back and have that new policy in place.
I've heard, having a middle schooler who's in the middle of that school, it seems to have been mostly a non-issue, at least from the couple times I've asked her about it, which I think is a good thing.
And honestly, in seeing any of the communications coming into the board, we really haven't gotten any communications publicly. At our last board meeting, there were a few community members and teachers that spoke up, for and against. Great. We do intend to have a public forum on this topic. We're gonna give the procedures a chance for a few weeks to see how they work, right? And happy to continue the conversations and adjust.
That was a strong leadership opportunity, I think, because it'd been really easy to say, this is what we're doing, this is it. But I think to come out and say, this is what we're doing, and then we're going to monitor progress. And if we need to adjust, we can. I think it was acknowledging that a lot of other districts aren't as strict as we are on this right now. But I think being flexible that's a good move. It gives us options.
And I think, one of the things that's not widely known as of yet, but was just kind of released, is additional guidance from the School Board Association on this. And really in kind of the more directive and clear letter of the law. And if we look at that, and that's going to be released here probably in the next couple of weeks. It should have been released before school starts, but hey, I don't make that up. We do firmly believe that we are very much in line with the intent, the spirit and intent of the law, and we're following it with our policies and procedures. And I would debate the other districts who are a little bit more loose on this around us are not following it to that spirit and letter.
The reality too is the first year is always gonna be the tough one, right? Like, no matter what. And I can understand the high schoolers being the most upset because that's what they're used to. But by the end of the year, even a couple months in, that's the new normal. People will adjust, and and we'll have to go back to making plans before school for pickup and not during school. So I think you guys are doing a great job on that.
Should we expect that there's gonna be additional requests of spend to improve or expand emergency communications with this? Because obviously now, with the kids not having the phones, I can only imagine that if something happens like a couple of years ago in Campbell, that your existing phone system cannot handle 400 parents trying to call immediately. Should we expect anything in the budget
Towers
for?
can't
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know, to answer your question. I mean, I would hope not.
Yeah.
And in terms of the communications and the radios that we have, I think we've done a pretty good job as a district keeping up with that.
Well, I'm thinking in terms of the phone line.
Yeah,
I think you have to talk to
landline.
Verizon and other things.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think we're set, right? I mean, every classroom has them. Like, I think we're good as a district in that respect. And in terms of the actual cell phone lock boxes, I'll call them, for lack of a better term, in each of the classrooms. I haven't seen them personally, but we did have to, the board encumbered $7,500 for that, at the end of, the fiscal year. We did have to spend a bit more than that just to cover, some of the additional cases necessary for Campbell, right? When we encumbered that money, it was really to cover LMS, right? And then the district and the board made the decision to also cover Campbell. So that was an extra $2,500.
Anything else for the school this evening?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up because I was beyond shocked when I was listening to that special meeting and you and another member of the school board were suggesting that the school, with extra money, would buy a police cruiser. And you'd already had conversation with select board. I can't believe that you're looking to use school money for town services.
This is just an idea.
Well, I'm glad that, especially Mr. Schumacher had a million good questions as far as the legality behind it and everything else, and that it didn't go forward. I think the school's got enough problems of their own that they don't have to spend money for the town.
Yeah, well, I think in terms of working together and trying to creatively solve problems as a town,
Yeah, solve problems,
to
yes.
school a part of the town,
Yeah.
right? That was just kind of brainstorming big picture. Hey, is this an opportunity for us to work together?
I think the intent was good. I think in watching that, like the legal questions that Matt raised were probably spot on.
Yeah. Look, and I think that was a good discussion to have, right?
All right, nothing else for the school this evening. We'll move to member input, new business, school facilities committee.
It's already been hit by Mr. Cutter. Other than now that they have a plan forward for GMS, they're starting to look at the other things that are gonna become necessary within the district.
At the other buildings.
At the other buildings, because let's face it, Campbell is what, 20-some years old now? The LMS, they have apparently a sinkhole and some parking lot issues. So there's gonna be some other expenses at the other maintenance issues, or not issue, but maintenance items that need to be addressed, and what does that look like in the schedule, and how can we, approach them without spiking taxes randomly, so can we address a level, I would encourage a level funded approach.
Will that group continue to meet on a monthly basis or semi-regular
They
basis?
set up a regular monthly meeting. Was it the second Tuesday or the first Tuesday? They say Tuesday.
Okay.
Was the original charter set up for focus on GMS, or is it
I think it was,
a general charter that this thing's gonna live on forever?
For facilities.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, if I take a look at it, I mean, do we really need a school facilities committee to think about renovating the LMS parking lot? I mean, that's honestly up to the school board and the superintendent's office to figure that stuff out.
I think go ahead.
So the board actually just approved the new charter for the facilities committee. And ultimately, the vision here is that they're largely focused on Griffin, but as long as the committee members want to stay, we'd love to have them, right? And thinking about the long-term vision and in the needs across the district, right? And
that's the
so,
question. It's not like they get paid, so what's the harm?
right, and so
I don't need more cooks in the kitchen.
In that
At point,
charter,
you know
right.
what, that's the school board's job.
In that charter, we can have up to 9 citizen representatives. And so, yeah, I mean, we look forward to welcoming those ideas.
Okay. Thank you. And the update we've all been waiting for, capital improvement.
I'm gonna wrap up 2 meetings for you quickly.
Good.
So the first is NRPC, their contract was extended for 2026. So here's the plan for the police department as of when they presented to the CIP. He would like to purchase 6 cars at once. $100,000 coming from the unassigned fund balance. Then going forward, the following year, $100,000 in the budget for the next 5 years.
So no. The question would be too, what would be the long-term replacement? Are we gonna replace 6 cars?
6 at once?
So, like, because before we had a 2-1-2 replacement. What, so in,
He's just reporting what was brought up at the meeting.
I
part of the
question that
messaging.
exactly, because right
Wait,
now
you
they
and I
have,
thought
in their
alike.
fleet, they have cars that are 3 and 4 years old that are basically falling apart.
right,
And he's looking to purchase 6 cars at once.
which
to
means in
last-
3 to 4 years,
Go
we're gonna-
5 years. Just saying.
And this is why, if I may, this is why I broached the topic, right? Because if you look at the repair bills that we receive on a regular basis from the town, our repair bills on these cruisers are very significant.
It's really not, if you look at the line in the budget, what I looked at quickly as far as repairs, then they're nowhere
You're
near as
looking
high.
at the new budget, right? Are you also looking at the repair bills from last year?
I've looked at the past since 2020.
We've spent over $100,000 just in repairs,
Yeah.
right? We could have bought 2 cruisers for that price.
Yeah, but you're gonna pay for repairs anyway over 6 years. I mean, vehicles, they're
Right,
gonna,
but they're covered under warranty if we buy them,
Yep.
right? So we put over the price of 2 new cars into vehicles that are still sitting at Edwards. Does not make any sense to me.
It doesn't, but I think too, we had a missed opportunity last year where we didn't properly educate the voters on how an unassigned fund balance works, so people said no, when they could have said yes. Like, so part of it, there's an onus on the people who need or want these vehicles to educate the people who have the ultimate say.
so again, the money, the first year would be coming from the unassigned fund balance. Mrs. Kleiner had mentioned that, they look to be between 8 and 12% as far as the carryover, and right now we're on the higher end, so she felt comfortable getting that $100,000 to pay for the cruises.
That's, so, and I will have no problem telling her, that's crazy, let's do 2, 2, 2, or something, but you can't do
And
6
again,
at
it's a
once.
lease purchase, so it would end up costing $420,000 principal, $80,000 in interest. They are gonna be working on forming a group for a new police department. There will be no warrant article for it this year, so they're gonna have,
School, contracts, and then a police station, fantastic.
so that was it for the police department. The road agent is looking for the matching funds to go back into the budget where he pulled it back before the $200,000 that matched the grant.
Hasn't it been in the budget? No?
He pulled it out.
Has it been pulled out?
When did we pull it out?
I thought it's been in the budget, though. Did he
You're
pull
talking
it
about matching the highway block,
Last year.
the block grant match?
Yeah, what to match. He's like,
But there used to be, yeah, we used to budget
spend
one.
400,000, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
we got 200 from them, 200 from us. Yeah, I don't think it was in last year.
no.
I don't know how many years it's been. Yeah.
No, it was on a revenue, well, I think it's zeroed out, right? Because we do the expenditure and then offset it with the revenue coming from the state. And then we'd have a warrant article to match that.
He's also looking to construct a garage, with the impact fees. It would cost $170,000. It would house, I think, 6 of his vehicles. So it would like cut down on wear and tear, especially corrosion of the vehicles, where right now he has like basically a 1-bay garage. So if something's in there to be repaired, then other vehicles can't come in. So they'll have an area where they can put vehicles in, keep it like 50 degrees, whatever, and you'd be burning used oil, so it really would be like inexpensive to like heat. But it would save on wear and tear and like rust as far as corrosion from the salt.
What about the old fire station for that?
You can't put them all in there. And there's other stuff in there, like a boat, I think. But
Well, he can use his vehicles there. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I would question, I would want to know more about what they're proposing. 170,000 seems,
Did you say that was gonna be a warrant article?
no, impact fees.
Impact fees.
oh, well,
It's
shouldn't that
basically
be a warrant article with money coming
It's
from?
basically a metal structure,
We're not worried about that
Do we know what the
corrode?
cost of that?
$170,000.
Sorry to say.
That's for the pad, the work, and the construction of the building.
So is this a way to get a DPW without getting a DPW?
Then he also has on a CIP for trucks, 4 or 5 trucks for $354,000
Each or total?
total. But then if you look at the line items, that says $140,000 in 28, $373 in 29, $163,000 in 30. But I'm
that's-
certain when he comes here to present his budget, he can go into a little bit more.
Yeah, because that
detail.
math ain't mathin'. So,
So he's gonna pull 170 out of the 224 from impact fees.
but are we really expanding services? You're just maintaining what you already have. Not expanding services. You're paying his service to him, but not to the town.
Was there any mention of, I remember a couple of years ago, there was a discussion of the salt shed needing work and replacement.
Yeah.
Any discussion on that?
Nope. I don't know if he had planned to utilize, right now, there's like, I don't know, I guess some type of garage. I know he mentioned something about, I don't know if he wanted to utilize that, or, I know he's something about salt that he wanted to do.
So back to the trucks, are these in addition to what we already have, or are we
It's
replacing?
replacing.
Are we replacing them with, was he stepping down from the CDL required
Correct.
to a more
Yep.
okay, good. Well, at least
It's a
from
lot
that,
easier to get drivers that way.
right, from that perspective, that would make sense, simply because we could get drivers.
So the fire department, which you'd already touched on, received a grant for $283,000. The total for the truck is $405,000.
So what is it, we got one new fire truck, there was another I thought there was another fire truck needing replacement.
Yep. This is,
How's
this is the rescue truck.
Is the rescue.
Alright, so we still need to replace a fire truck.
Yep, he has for year 2027. I'm sorry, yeah. So the other part is on 2027 to replace the air packs. And that's at $350,000 that they're basically expired at this point. In 2027, he's looking to replace engine 4 at 1.5 million. And in 2030, he's looking to replace engine 1 at 1.3 million.
So with all these, I mean, nobody wants to talk about it really, but partnering with an organization that already has such equipment, like.
I know in the past, they have gotten a vehicle from, I believe, Londonderry.
Yeah, they haven't.
Brian, wasn't there talk from the fire department though with the long lead time
Yeah,
for trucks that
yeah, he's saying like.
he also wanted to front load the purchase of trucks in order to be able to
Yeah,
get them in
basically
future
a
years?
year. It was
So
a
potentially,
year.
we gotta front load 6 police cars.
Yeah.
And 2 fire vehicles.
Yeah.
And we're gonna try to front load all of that now.
While voting for a new school, a
I don't
contract,
think he's necessarily looking to front load it all right now for the trucks.
Well, I thought the thing was he had to go ahead and buy them now because it was going to take somewhere
12
between
to
2 and
18.
3 years to get them.
It is, but I mean, looking at the chart, he's not looking for it to be until 2027 like the first one, so I would think that is when he
we
would
pay
start.
upon receipt maybe?
But yeah, so I think your question is if we pay in 2027, are we not receiving it until 2029?
He's
That was-
saying
that was the way it
it's
was
only like
being
3-4 years
yeah.
to build a truck, depending on what type of truck you're looking for.
Why are these trucks $1 million and the truck we just bought was like
700.
$700,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because it was, I guess you
It was a
describe it as a floor
showpiece.
model. It was built, it's not like he said, here's what I want, it was built, so it's like,
And that's my follow-up question, and maybe you don't know, and that's okay. The truck we acquired probably a couple of years ago at this point, right? That is a rescue truck,
yeah.
right? And so we need 2 rescue trucks?
Well, it's not that type of vehicle, though. I think it's more like I don't wanna say it's a pickup truck, but it's a smaller vehicle.
Okay.
So then the library, their big item right now, and, I know the town had to check with legal, because when they were either given the library or the land. Was
The
it whole
library itself,
was-
I believe the land was conditioned on use of, and then reverts back if it's not used or
Right.
something.
They had to like build it with certain materials, it had to be brick, it had to be a slate roof, so the roof needs to be replaced now.
Mm.
So now they're trying to find out, do they have to replace with a slate roof? Because the quote they have for replacing the roof is $300,000. So I said, can't you just get a metal roof that looks like slate? But they're checking with legal to find out as to whether or not that still holds true, you know.
I mean, there's been, depending on when they signed it, I mean, there's been advances in architectural availability of materials that
Right, but if-
hopefully we're not tied to using hand-sawn lumber and the other thing that is not quite,
The library trustees have the ability to override that, or no? I'm not sure.
or at least negotiate with the family who donated the
Right.
land space.
What was your question?
They're
How long
looking
has
to
that
it,
roof been on there? How long's it lasted?
what's that?
How long has that roof lasted?
Since it's been built,
Slate will last a little
it's
while.
supposed to last 100 years.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is it really that damaged? I don't know, I don't
Well,
ever go there.
I guess
but-
she's got a couple leaks, so.
So can we do spot replacement as opposed to full-blown replacement?
Yeah. And they're also looking at like some drainage that might like deviate some of it away from the building, so. But that was their big, the others that she doesn't really have, set prices on, it's like shelving and, cause they want like movable shelving downstairs, but when they have kids' activities, they can move the shelves out of the way and.
GoFundMe sounds good right
Yep.
now.
And the last, was conservation. I think we all know what they want, $2 million over the next 6 years.
Is that for the purchase of land or, where is Talent Hall on that list anywhere? Is it?
They haven't presented yet.
Okay.
That Rex presented.
Yeah.
You know
Rec
what
is
else is
not
not on that list that I think, just in terms of a capital plan, we need to start thinking about?
Oh, boy.
Well, I mean, it's true, right?
I'm just teasing you.
But it's replacement of things like septic systems and other items like that. I mean, these buildings are now, we talked about this years ago.
Yeah.
And we've never planned it. But guess what? These buildings are now 5 years older and we're still not talking about it.
We
Right?
should
These
have an
things are
assessment
Going
first.
to happen. They're gonna happen.
Sure, but we should plan ahead, but we should also have an assessment of it. My septic tank is aging and it still looks fantastic. Well, according to my guy, it looks
How do you know
fantastic.
it looks fantastic?
Because I get it cleared
Because
regularly.
the guy said so.
It gets cleared regularly and it's like, yep, nope, you still have some more time.
Point being, right, is there's things like that, right? This big cat generator, I don't know, right? I mean, I know that
The upsides are not
the
replacement.
generator that, it's actually town property, but the generator that's behind the high school,
Which was a grant, right? for
right,
FEMA.
that is in need of replacement.
Do we use it?
But I think it's for emergency services.
Yeah, but have we used it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that ice storm.
there's been multiple power outages.
Yeah.
Have you guys checked the oil and gas this year?
Yes, it had, well, it's serviced, right?
Okay.
And it does need to be replaced at this point, so I know that's part of, is that part of the CIP? I don't know where that fits, but that's part of discussions that I know. we
Because it's
recently
town,
had.
not school, right?
What, the generator?
The generator.
Yeah, but that would come from either the town or the schools presenting to put it on the CIP.
Okay.
Because the understanding of the CIP right now through Mr. Kleiner is that if it's not on the CIP, then you really can't utilize impact fees
Correct.
for it.
That's correct.
So it has to be on the CIP, and that's why you have to have a CIP plan
Nobody's
in
presented
order
it.
to collect impact fees to utilize it for it. And
But you wouldn't be using
school
impact
scheduled to
fees
present?
realistically, because it's an existing
The
service.
CIP? Yes.
we spend like a good half hour talking about impact fees.
Yeah.
Like Brian was there and he was like inquiring like, and like it was explained to him that he can utilize impact fees right now for like the design or, you know, the beginning of, as far as GMS,
Right.
that type of thing.
But I'm just saying, like, replacing a generator, we already have it, you're not expanding services. I can't imagine you could use impact fees to replace it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Unless maybe you up the
I feel like
size
we
of
always
it,
ask these questions about what's the, it'd be good to have like
an actual document.
actual document about what we can use this for.
Anything else for CIP this evening?
That was it. That was the last 2 meetings.
Good job.
Thank you, Brian. All right. Anything else, member input, new business? Seeing none, I will open our second public input. Seeing no one here, I will close our second public input. Next budget committee meeting is on Thursday, September 25th. We will begin our town budget review process with presentations from Mrs. Kleiner and the various department heads. So that will begin our weekly cadence starting Thursday, September 25th. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So made.
Motion by Ms. Douglas,
Second.
second by Mr. Taylor. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries 7-0. Have a great night, everybody.
This side doesn't work either. Oh,
It's something underneath, it's something underneath the table. John